Hello, Steve Arts 89. Okay, so I spent 38 minutes of my life watching Jessie Gender's review of Wonder Woman 1984. I was pretty offended by this on several levels. And this is the second attempt of mine to do this video because the first one got a bit too angry. And you can't get angry at a trans person because then you're transphobic, even if you're actually not talking about them being trans, and it's just incidental that they're trans. Okay, so she surprised me. She jumped on the bandwagon and trashed Wonder Woman. I didn't think she would. I thought she would actually like Wonder Woman because, you know, it's a female film, female empowerment, strong female woman, directed by a woman, all the right things. And not a token woman like they tried to make her into. She actually decided what the film was going to be about. It's her story about a woman just being a woman, as opposed to it about her being a woman. She's just being one instead of talking about being one. Okay, so basically she's not happy because Wonder Woman's not a lesbian. She makes a joke of this in the video, but that's what she really means. Basically, you can't be a heterosexual woman and have your life involve men because men are evil and bad. Only lesbians who hate men are the only women that apparently we can respect and aspire to. I don't see a lot of straight women jumping on that bandwagon. And since straight women are like the majority, perhaps we should cater to them instead of lesbians. So Wonder Woman is not a film for lesbians. It's not made for lesbians. It's not that myopic, because otherwise it wouldn't make the $1 billion it would have made if, you know, COVID hadn't happened. So there's number one. And number two, I just want to get straight into the issue of rape. This really pisses me off so much. She tries to suggest, as many people have, that there's a situation in the film where for some reason, well, we know what the reason is. For some reason, Patty Jenkins wanted to make fun of all the body swap films in the 80s and that trope. Freaky Friday, 18 Again, Big, all those sort of films. So that's what she does. She has Steve Trevor come back in the body of another man. And people are actually suggesting that that character was raped because while he's absent and Steve is using his body, presumably Wonder Woman and him have sex. We don't see it. It's implied, suggested, assumed, but we don't see it. And they do put him in jeopardy because Steve is running around fighting crime in that man's body. And they take this serious, they take this literally, and they are actually suggesting that Wonder Woman is a rapist and that she basically, that the film basically has no morality because Wonder Woman, our hero, is a rapist, basically. Now, I'm gauging the people who are saying this haven't actually been raped, because I can tell you that it's not that. Anyone with any sense knows that that's not what rape is. And she even tries to, uses another example to prove her ridiculous point, which is just absurd. She uses the episode of Star Trek Enterprise where Trip, because she's saying basically men are often raped and their bodies violated for comedic effect. And I will agree that men are often physically abused by women for comic effect, but I wouldn't say they're raped for comic effect. Outside of American History X, I don't remember seeing a man be raped on screen. I'm trying to think. Mysterious Skin. There's a male rape scene in that as well. Joseph Levitt Gordon, brilliant. Yes, she uses the example of Enterprise. Now in Enterprise, Trip is on a holodeck with alien that they've never really met before, and he puts his hand in a little bowl of pebbles and they're sharing a sensation. Now this is usually a sexual experience for that person's race. Trip doesn't know that. She's probably oversharing. She accidentally impregnates him without realizing. So she's transferred literally a cell into his body, and then it goes into his stomach and becomes a fetus. And of course, there is some sense of it's more a sense of what is it when you're inconvenienced. There's more of a sense of inconvenience about that situation where he's got something he doesn't want. He has to take responsibility and take care of something which he hadn't planned to, and it is mostly done for comic effect. But still, it's not rape. If you think that is rape, if you think having a cell transferred into your body without your knowledge and having it grow before you know it's even there, if you consider that rape, you've never been raped. So I'm really, really, really offended, and I can't believe what a stupid statement someone as woke as Jessie Gender would make. I mean, and no one's going to listen to this, no one's going to care, she's never going to see this, she's got 30,000 subscribers. I'm nothing. But I'm not happy, I'm not impressed. This is the most insensitive, stupid thing I've heard for a long time. And I've heard some other people suggesting it, but they're all right-wing, Trump-voting, Trump-supporting idiots who just hate Wonder Woman because she's a woman, and because they've been told to hate the film because supposedly it has it has Orange Man Bad in it. So they hate it just automatically. So of course they're going to say, oh, she obviously slept with the guy, she must be a rapist. Of course they're going to say that because they're idiots. I expected more of a supposedly intelligent, Star Trek loving, transgendered lady. So I don't know what the deal is there. I'm trying not to make some really bad jokes because I just feel like it. I'm not going to, because she has the trans card, and the trans card outplays the gay card. Because the gays don't mean anything anymore. We don't matter anymore. We're not relevant. Woke people only care about trans people and trans rights now. So I don't get to actually say anything about her because then I'm transphobic and I'm as bad as a straight person. So she's got that protection. So no one can say anything about her. That's how she gets all her luck that she's got with her growing channel and her interviews and so forth. It's all because she's got the gimmick and she's using the trans card, and she's tokenizing herself for materialistic gain. So it's a bit sad, but she manages to pull it off, as in acting as though it's an actual sincere thing. She wants to connect with people, blah, blah, blah. But she's doing this for clicks, and it's really offensive. And I really, really, really wish someone from some sort of like rape crisis center or from some group that deals with rape trauma would give her a lecture and an explanation about sexual assault, what it's like to be raped, the post-traumatic stress, the physical damage, all these sort of things, and perhaps point out to her that none of those things resemble the imaginary fantasy scene created by the monkey's paw wishing rock, which makes things disappear, reappear, change, people disappear, people reappear, people lose their whole existence and memory and then come back again. Those people are not having a real experience. So to compare that fantasy, inconsistent fantasy experience to actual real human experience and trauma, and it's just ridiculous. So I'm not impressed. I'm very disappointed. The rest of the film, she has a few points, but I mean, again, when you go into the feminist angle, the idea that, oh, how dare she have a man in her life, how dare she want a man in her life, how dare she see her life as with a man and in a relationship, that she should be a lesbian, basically. And I'm like, not everyone wants to be a lesbian. Plenty of women actually want to have a man in their life, and I'm fine with that. But apparently they're not. Apparently Wonder Woman is evil because, and she is at fault because she revolves her life around Steve and mourning Steve. She gets lost in mourning. But how many people get lost in mourning? How many people lose a partner or a child and then spend the rest of their life living on the day they died and focusing on their death rather than living and moving on? Now, she does move on. That's the whole point of the film, which apparently Jessie missed. The whole point of the film was she lets go, she lets her wish go, she lets Steve go, she moves on, and she literally learns to fucking fly. But that apparently isn't enough for Jessie to work out, what this story is about and what's happening with the character. She just criticised it for being awkward. Oh, that flying scene was so awkward. Well, probably because you weren't actually understanding what it was about and actually just enveloped in the joy of that moment of her freeing herself from all that and literally escaping it all and learning how to fly and evolving and you know, going to a higher, better place. All those analogies you want to make. But this is not a review of the film. This is not an analysis of the film. This is just me being pissed off at a little trans woman who thinks it's okay to compare real male rape and real trauma with a silly, fictional, magical situation that doesn't even literally apply to the scene, the situation. So I'm just offended. And that's what you do now. When you're offended, you go on Twitter or YouTube or Instagram and you rant about it and bitch about it and tell people, you know, like you matter, what you think. That's what people do. So that's what I'm doing. It makes you feel better. So fuck you, Jessie Gender. You have no idea what you're talking about. Which, considering she's a huge Discovery fan, shouldn't shock me. But most of her other reviews have been on point, and I've agreed with a lot of what she said. And she seems like a nice person when you fit into her realm. But the second you don't, I guess you are, you know, an evil, right-wing, whatever, sexist, phobe, whatever. She seems like your typical social justice warrior who has no concept of reality and just likes to talk about theories as they fit their agendas in the moment. I don't know what else to say. I was just really shocked and pissed off by that review and that just ignorance. And I'm just going to go back to my little world and try and deal with my life and forget about her stupidity. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. Ding the little bell even if you want to. Yeah, please, people, tell me I'm not wrong about this one. Somebody. There is no way you can compare the two things. It's ridiculous. Bye.